It was a disappointing afternoon here at the Mortgage Chisholm Stadium. How do you assess that one?
Yeah, it was very. It was quite a flat game. I think we turned up, really hopeful, really hoping for a dynamic performance, and unfortunately, I thought the wind had a huge part to play for both teams today. It was, I don't know, 35 mile an hour winds, and you never get a great game of football with winds like that. Took a moment of brilliance really from Tom Leggett. Great strike from 25, 30 yards out. To put an end to a pretty uninspiring first half really from both teams. And second half, I think we huffed and puffed. We were at danger of always getting caught on the break, and that happened in the 90th minute. And then the football gods always make you think you got half a chance because we go and score a minute or two afterwards. But it wasn't to be today. And like I said, we've got 2 games to go. We need the football gods to shine on us. We need to win both and see if Berkhamsted slip up. But they've been exceptional, Berkhamsted. I think they've won 9 out of the last 11 or something. Massively top of the form league. So again, you've got to tip your hat to Berkhamsted and what they've been doing. But yeah, disappointed, but still 2 games to go.
Of course, and like you said, it was a very slow first half. And I think throughout the whole 90 minutes, neither keeper really had much to do. Like you said, it was that moment of brilliance from Farnham, which sort of broke the deadlock. And do you think it was just those sort of fine margins today, which showed we didn't just quite get over the line?
Harry, I think you turn up and you want your team to to be on the front foot, and you want everything to go in a dynamic way. And like I said, you're watching it. It felt flat also around the ground. I thought we'd have more numbers here today. The wind, I think both teams are passing teams, and it was a little bit safe, the passing. So, as I said, watching it unfold in the first half, it wasn't a great game of football to watch. It wasn't much to get the crowd excited about until, obviously, Leggett, has done that magnificent strike. I don't know how many Farnham fans were here today, but it felt about 7 or 8 Farnham fans here. So I thought today was going to be a big game. I thought Farnham would bring 60, 70, it to 100. And like I said, it just felt flat. Our performance was flat, and it reflected the whole day.
Of course, and like you said, disappointing today, but we've still got 2 games left. Obviously, another home game next week against Wimborne. Then, of course, we do have the Hampshire Cup final as well before our final game at Dorchester. So it's a case of now just get back at it, and whilst we've still got a chance, we've still got to keep fighting.
Yeah, we said that there in there. Listen, everyone's disappointed, the players especially, because they put in so much work this year to try and get into that 5th place, if you like, because that's the one that was only available probably a month or 2 ago. But you just can't. You can't do anything but praise Berkhamsted for what they've done. They just kept going and going and going and winning games. And, we've been going away from home and getting good draws and at Hamwell and Hungerford. But in the end, they panned out probably not to be enough. At home, we've been excellent all year. I think that's only our 3rd defeat at home. And that's no disgrace against a very, very good Farnham side. But I think even Farnham would say today that the game wasn't great to watch. But I think the wind had a fair bit to do with that. 2 games to go, like you said. I've seen stranger things happen in football. Berkhamsted would have to, mess it up, having just given them all the praise, and we'd have to win 2 games. But that's football. You got to keep going. And like I said, the Hampshire Senior Cup final as well is another nice thing to look forward to. Just got to make sure the lads, don't suffer the disappointment of not getting in the playoffs and then, aren't at it for the cup final. So yeah, disappointing, but not life ending.